Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, we are here at the Kentucky Speedway. We got the green all around. We got the Quaker State out front. It's certainly my type of track here, my colors, but apparently not for NASCAR. Another track here that doesn't get touched at all, doesn't get raced at all. As far as I know, still a track, not like Auto Club, but it's kind of amazing. I mean, it's another track, in my opinion, that I feel is a good track. It's a fun track. It's a racy track. It's in that cookie cutter realm of the mile-and-a-half tri-ovals, but it's, every one of these mile-and-a-half tri-ovals is a little bit different. I mean, you look at this one compared to, say, Las Vegas. Las Vegas a lot more highly banked and a lot faster. This one maybe a little bit more technical, a little flatter compared to the other ones. But to me, it's a fun track, and I don't know what it is. Carl Hamworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, what is it about these tracks that to me seem good? They seem racy. Certainly we talk about Auto Club all the time, but even here in Kentucky, it's a good track. NASCAR just, no, we don't want to go there.
I think it's, for us, it's, the multiple lanes that you can run. It's not just one-dimensional track, the occasional, like, who's got the cojones to fall into one place. Like go, drive it down deep into one corner or push the limits of a car. So when a track can have multiple lines, it can at least give the drivers the opportunity to make a clean pass. And some of those other tracks, I don't know, Carl, I think some of them are a bit cookie cutter. Some of the passing can be challenging, and tracks like Kentucky and some of the other mile and a half. So it's just straight up race, and you can't block everything, so you just got to be quick and keep running your line.
Well, we decided that this week we're not going to have an in-race, pre-race reporter. We figured for safety reasons, give everyone out there a chance and don't have that one person. I don't know if it's the extra pressure or what it was, but it seems like lately, Jimmy, we have not exactly been on a good streak for the in-race, pre-race reporters. So we're going to let them all have a chance here tonight and not talk to anybody before or during the race. But we got our lineup here tonight. Looks like we got 19 cars ready to take, actually 18 cars if you don't include Greg Thielsen there. Why don't you give us a rundown of those 18 cars here set to take the green?
Yeah, the drivers for tonight here are going to be Jason Crispin up front with Mike Casey, Bradley Worley, Tony Brennan, Scott Matthews for your top five. And then Paul Helms, Levi Poland, Douglas Ivey, Scott Henderson, Bryce Saucier. And then that's for your top 10. And then in 11th is Daniel Pinkston, Travis Noble, Zane Bierman, Billy Rickett, Justin Spengler, Dale Garner Jr., and Greg Thielsen, along with Richard Hartman in 18th place.
Yeah, Greg obviously going to be our man behind the scenes here, running all
Wade
the.
Out there, Wade's back there too.
Wade's back there. Yeah, but Greg will be the one up there keeping these drivers in check here. As this is race number, lose my train of thought here. I believe this is race number 5 here for the series, and the 191 Motorsports. As we've had a good run of races here so far. Some of the the typical tracks that you kind of hit early in the season. We had Daytona, ran the old Atlanta, Chicagoland, and Auto Club for the first 4 races, and they were won by Matthew Jordan, Levi Poland, Nolan Potter, and then last week certainly winning some money there maybe for Mr. West is Roger Saucier getting the win at Auto Club. But tonight we head to Kentucky for race number 5. One thing we have though is we have a points leader that, well, has yet to win a race, and we talked to him last week. Almost got the win at Auto Club, but it was just coming up short, not having the right strategy at the right time to finish everything out. And that is the fearless leader behind the scenes here in everything 191 Motorsports, Mike Casey. He leads the point standings by 6 points over Matthew Scruffy Jordan, Levi Poland in third, Bradley Worley in fourth, Justin Spengler rounding out the top 5, then Daniel Pinkston, Richard Hartman, Billy Rickett, Nolan Potter, and Wade Enyer rounding out your top 10. One thing that we don't have is one of the drivers that was tied for 11th coming in here tonight is unfortunately no longer with us, and that is the driver of the 79, Foster Yates. And certainly a shout out to his family, and I'd see Chris out there in the in the broadcast, in the chat, and certainly our thoughts and prayers and sympathies from the CRN side of things. And we're going to do a moment of silence from laps 7 through 9 in honor of Foster Yates out here tonight. But hopefully, in the meantime, we get some a good restart, or a good start to the race, not a restart. Hopefully no restarts here tonight. Maybe we'll keep it nice and green. But I've already got a yellow in mind apparently. But either way, looking forward. Good one out here tonight. 125 laps here at the 1.5 mile Kentucky Speedway. And yeah, Jimmy, you mentioned tracks being kind of cookie cutter. Like we look at. Like it's Vegas. Vegas to me is really good, high speed, 1.5 mile tri-oval where you definitely have a lot of different lines. Here, it's a lot flatter, but it is certainly going to have a bunch of different lines. You look at a track like Kansas. I mean, it's unofficially the home of core, but a track that typically doesn't have that many racing lines. So it all depends on which track you go to. Yeah, they're all shaped the same, but the banking really plays a big part. It's going to play a big part here tonight. It's going to chew up some tires here as well, because this place is a little bit notorious for eating up some tires. But we'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight, if we get a repeat winner for the first time this year, or if we have our 5th different winner in 5 races.
Yeah, I mean, it's the great racing so far this season, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another winner up here. Anybody can win at any time. Some have a little better chance than others, but been great so far, and it's good to see drivers out there competing each and every week and kind of keep things a little tighter in the point situation. But yeah, even Jason Crispin out there out front there this week. So even somebody else new on the pole here, just start things off.
Got a little bit of time here before we get the race started, so we'll go ahead and step away, wait till these drivers are ready to go, and then we'll be back with some racing action here at Kentucky. As you can see, it is now finally time for race time here at Kentucky with the 191 Motorsports Gen 6 Series, as we're going to see who can get it done here for 125 laps. Race number 5, see if we have a 5th different winner, or if we have somebody that breaks through and gets their 2nd win on the season. Front row again to make it up here, it is Jason Chrisman on the pole, Michael Casey on the outside, Bradley Worley, Tony Brennan, and Scott Matthews for your top 5. Paul Helms back in action here tonight, so welcome back to Paul here, the 64. Levi Poland, Douglas Ivey, Scott Henderson, Bryce Saucier, last week's winner for your top 10. We'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight as they head into turns 3 and 4. Pace car lights are out. It's time to go racing here at Kentucky for 191 Motorsports. Want to thank our series sponsors, and that being Kim's Cups and More and One Vision EMS and Transports for everything that they do for the series. As just making sure we're actually going to go green here. Now it looks like the pace car lights are back on here, so we're going to have one extra lap here. It's nice and extended here. Plenty of time to get our thoughts together and get ready for some racing here with these. Looks like 17 cars made the grid. Dale Garner Jr. going to be starting from pits. Maybe they were just waiting for him to get to the car. Not sure what the long pause was in the beginning, but either way, we'll be ready to go this time by.
Yeah, one more time around. I mean, just let everybody kind of collect thoughts, some last minute decisions on how they're going to run their race here tonight. And maybe with the admins just trying to, give a shout out there to the number 79 as well. So there's a lot of things just kind of going on. I'm sure just admin stuff, but always flexible here up in the booth as things move on. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. They're currently on the back stretch. I think the lights are off on the pace car now. If I go to the camera, yeah, they're off there. So we can ride on top of any of the cars here. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting car. It's going to be fast. I think last time we were here, I think we were running the street stock cars. This is the last time I actually ran a race here.
Yeah, sounds about right. And this track kind of reminds me a little bit of Phoenix in some ways, just the amount of banking. Phoenix is kind of a little bit flatter of a track, and some of these corners it just kind of reminds me of Phoenix. Obviously, NASCAR, all the series completing their championships this weekend. I think NASCAR is actually finishing up right now for their championships, but we're far from the championship here at 191. We need to get race number 5 winner. Green flag is out, and we are racing here at Kentucky.
When they go all 18 cars heading down in turn number 1, you can see them side by side. A little blinkage there from the pole sitter. Oop, that camera's not set up right. We're actually just on the wrong camera. Ran car. This will happen when you try to choose cameras and the guy blinks out. Then it's
all
not
this
like
time getting ready. All this time we had to get ready.
Yeah, right. That's what happens when somebody blinks. It just sends the cameras into a whirlwind of chaos. But it does look like the 98 of Jason Chrisman has a connection to sell out here. But we'll give him a little bit of some time yet before we go back on that car there. But leading out front right now over Michael Casey, Bradley Worley, and Tony Brennan. They're battling for P number 3. Oh.
Good start from the field, almost 3 wide there into turn number 1, but Worley's going to hold on to that spot on the outside. The 18 of Bryce Saucier already up 6 spots. That 18 hunting for the front again, who's very fast all race last week, and found his way to the top spot at the end. Looks like we got a couple number 7s out there with the 7 of Billy Rickett. That's the blue and white one right there, and then 2 spots in front of him.
It's the 7.
I believe, that's the 70. Yep, I think the 91 is the other 7 out there.
The 91 is the country time car.
So I guess the 13. The 13 of Scott Matthews. Either way.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there we go. That is Scott Matthews there, as I think he confused us last week as well. But Jason Chrisman is your leader. Michael Casey still trying to get around him. Very close battle at the front. The 6 right now just holding position. Got a good run off the corner, but just going to stay in line. Meanwhile, Saucier up to 3rd already. 7 spots gained already just in a couple laps. Wade Enyart, another one, gained 6 spots. I know 2 of those technically don't matter. They had him starting as 19th, but Greg Thielsen obviously not running here tonight, and then Dale Garner Jr. started from the pits. But he is out there. Looks like he is on the lead lap, just 11 seconds behind right now. But Wade Enyart still did pick up a few positions. Other than that, already up to 13th position. So hopefully 21 has got a rocket ship under him tonight. Good racing back here. Paul Helms again back out with the field here tonight. First race back here in the 64. Gets passed there by the 7 of Billy Rickett. But still a good start position for Helms, starting up there in 6th place, still hanging on to a top 10. And you'll see this certainly at Kentucky. You'll see some drivers kind of ebb and flow, to drift back a little bit in the beginning of the runs, and then you'll see them maybe once they're ready to start moving forward, once they feel everyone else kind of burn off their tires, and they'll start moving forward. I don't think Saucier is waiting for anybody to burn their tires off, but looks like he's going to get passed here by Bradley Worley, as Worley trying to regain 3rd position from him, and he's going to do that. So the 18 slides down in front of Tony Brennan, but Brennan now gets a good run off the corner, and Saucier now going to slide back to 5th place. But as mentioned pre-race, want to give a shout out once again to the Foster Yates family. We're going to go ahead and do a moment of silence here. We're going to at least shut our mics off and kind of do a little faux love to hear it, and a shout out to Foster Yates, driver of the 79. Once again, our thoughts and prayers and sympathies out to Foster Yates. Unfortunately, not with us anymore. Was the driver of the 79. So I want to do a little moment of silence there for him through laps 7 through 9, and certainly wish his family the best. And I want to thank, I know Chris is out there watching, and I'm sure he had other fans and supporters out there watching as well. But certainly it's always a shame, obviously, and it's great to have this outlet. This is a it's a good way to get on here and forget about the days, whether it's your health struggles, whether it's financial struggles, whether it's any kind of issues, or you have a sick kid. Hopefully you have somebody else to take care of them. But I mean, it's a way to just get on here, kind of shut everything else off for an hour or 2 hours at a time, and just go out there, have fun, kind of let your body and your mind breathe a little bit. It certainly can't let your mind breathe too much, because you're constantly thinking out there in the car. But it's a way to just kind of step away from life for a little bit. He's seen a glimpse of it on the way by right there. Take a look at exactly what happened. So the 7, gotcha. A little brush of the wall. I've seen that a couple times from some drivers getting in that backstretch wall, bounced off the wall, and then down into the 62, which I believe is the wrong number as well. I believe that is Tony Brennan, the 65. But big impact there, the inside wall on the car there for Scott Matthews, and he's certainly going to need to bring it in. He got a meatball flag from that, and actually was Zane Bierman in the 55. Got a big piece of it as well as he drifted down the track. Not sure if he's holding the brakes or not, but that is a horrible net code right there, as you see that right rear tire for the 55 just bent in pretty heavily. And that right there, only damage that he got. I mean, it was a perfect hit right on the tire net code wise, and that is going to give him a meatball, and he's going to have to come in and serve that. Well, serve that meatball. I don't know. Yeah, just once again, man, the meatballs on Sunday. That is not what you want to do here, and that could be maybe the end of the night for him. It's going to take maybe. Yeah, it did look like he jumped to the pits, so maybe he'll be able to get saved that way. Yeah, he's going to go down a couple laps here, but race certainly not over. One thing this is going to help, though, it's going to help DJ Dale Garner Jr. To catch back up to the field now. We had a few cars come into the pits, but Dale Garner Jr. started from the pits, and he was back behind the field quite a ways. He's going to be able to be up with the field now, maybe finally have a little fun here tonight. But we had Zane Bierman come in to get his meatball flag cleared. Levi Poland, Richard Hartman, Paul Helms, and Tony Brennan also coming in to get some service on their cars. Rest of the top 11 going to stay out there, and I go actually top 12 there with Dale Garner Jr. as we're going to get this thing back under green. It's going to be Jason Chrisman has led from the jump here tonight. Michael Casey stayed in second this entire time. Been a bit of an up and down there for third place. Right now it is Bradley Worley. It's going to be in third. Bryce Saucier in fourth. Billy Rickett, Daniel Pinkston, Travis Noble, Wade Enyart, and our Douglas Ivey, Wade Enyart, and then Scott Henderson for your top 10. Yeah, we will have, I believe, the comp caution at lap number 25, as we typically do. So that'll give everyone a chance to get back on somewhat of the same same level here when it comes to pit stops, but sometimes we've seen drivers come in on an early caution like that. You know, they're going to have 10 laps on their tires, but if they can just drive out there and be smooth right now, they can stay out at lap 25 there and maybe just get that track position that they wanted and needed, and not pit on lap number 25. So we'll see how everything plays out here, but it's certainly racy right now towards the back. Although some of those drivers that did come into the pits, they want to move up there and get some track position right now. Jason Christman still your leader out from Michael Casey tucked in behind him. Saucier in third. Battle for fourth right now between Worley and Rickett, as Rickett is up 9 spots. Biggest mover of the race here so far, up in the top 5. And he is now going to be into... Yeah, he's in 5th position. I just couldn't count there for a second. But now side by side there for 6th, as Douglas Ivey, Travis Noble battling. Yeah, I mean, it's all a toss-up of how you want to kind of handle the race. But right now, it looks like Mike Casey is looking to get to the lead. And we talked about different lines working here at Kentucky, and they certainly do. But that top line, the middle line, whatever you want to consider it there, oof, not too high there for the 33. But it seems like that top line is where you want to be. That's where you kind of need to figure out how to make the pass. We've seen drivers dive down to the bottom to try and make passes before, and you just don't get the run like you do coming off the corners. You see right there, Casey and Saucier getting real close to each other, as the 18's not going to move up into 2nd position, but a bit too high there for Worley, trying to figure out how to make that extreme high line work, and he's going to lose a couple positions because of it. The 7 gets close there. You see that the bottom line maybe working a little bit better in 3 and 4, not so much in 1 and 2, but now the 7 of Rickett's going to give a little push to Casey. It's going to keep him in 2nd for the time being. Side by side for 3rd between Saucier and Ricketts, but out front, Jason Christman doesn't mind these drivers battling it up all the time here, as we're going to be coming up on the comp caution here in a couple laps. But he's still battling back there in the back half of the top 5, as we got a little bit of a breakaway from 9th to 10th place, but they're all going to be grouped back up here very soon. But Jason Christman has got a hold of this lead. Send a belated happy Halloween to everyone out there this week, and I know it's definitely your favorite holiday there, Jimmy, and it's certainly fun whether you got kids that you're taking around the neighborhoods, or whether you're just kind of sitting, chilling at the house and giving out candy. I know there's, certainly this year and most years, I'm out there walking around with my kids and having a bunch of fun and seeing all the other kids in the different costumes. But every once in a while, we used to just kind of sit on my buddy's front porch when he had when he lived in another place, and we were the ones giving out the candy, and then the wives took the kids around, and it's kind of fun in both aspects, seeing the kids get all happy and excited, and seeing it both ways there. But Jimmy, I know you enjoy it no matter what. This is your time of the year to shine. It looks like, do you have your mic on, Jimmy? Because it looks like they can't hear you out there in Sierra Nation.
Well, it would help if I turned on my microphone to the stream.
Well, all right, so let's try that again, Jimmy. What is it you like about Halloween, and how was Halloween this year for you?
Halloween was good. I mean, had about 500 kids coming to the house. And typically I'm the one that stays at the house. But this year I actually went out with the 10-year-old, let him around, go do some trick-or-treating himself. But usually that candy that he collects, it goes to waste because he's not a sweets kid. So probably just sit on his desk for a month or two before we throw it away.
Yeah, both my kids are I don't want to say the complete opposite, but my son doesn't like chocolate, not a big chocolate fan. Every once in a while he can do like white chocolate, but doesn't like chocolate and anything like that. My daughter, on the other hand, that she can pretty much eat anything, but my son prefers the fruits and the sours, like Sour Patch Kids, things like that. And I know there was a couple houses that we went to where he went up there, and I seen he didn't get anything. He comes back, and I'm like, what's up? He's like, all they had was chocolate. I'm like, dude, like, still take it. I'm like, you could trade with your sister, or God forbid, I'll take it. Like, take it. Don't take nothing. So I had to have a little word with him in Halloween etiquette. You take a damn piece whether you like it or not.
Yeah, we even had like dum-dums and stuff like that for like some of the younger kids, obviously, as they usually like the suckers. There's a lot of, usually trick-or-treating started out about 6:30ish, which is pretty early, and it goes to about 9 o'clock, 9:30 for the most part. And I haven't walked around the neighborhood in so long that the streets were just filled. It looked like the raceway here, man. Like if I go back here on Bryce's car and I look forward, all these cars on the raceway, that's what my street was lined up on both sides. Cars hardly going through. Oh, and then, as you know, I usually do my house up and I put like mock fires in my windows, right? So a lot of kids were like, oh, the house is on fire, blah blah blah. Well, as I'm sitting there in my table, I hear sirens. I'm like, uh-oh, what happened? The fire truck rolls up to the front gate with its lights on. I'm like, oh no, did somebody call the fire department for the house? And they ended up, and I'm the first house, so they obviously stop at the stop sign and they make a right, and then they drive by my house. I was like, whoo, I don't have to sit there and explain that to some fire chief. This is just fake. Oh no!
Oh, that's not fake right there. Big impact there.
Oh, blow motor.
And we've got a couple cars that are going to have a meatball, I would assume, after that. I don't see it popping up just yet. There we go. There it is. A Spengler. And you see right there, Bryce Saucier. Big impacts there. Saucier going to tow it back to pit lane. Can't get that thing moving. I think the 28 is still rolling. Trying to get it back to pit lane. We'll see what happened here. 3 wide. Looks like the 18 gets pinched up into the wall by the 91. And then the bounce off right there. We've seen it now twice. Not exactly the old school 87s exploding off the wall, but I've seen it tonight now a couple times where the cars aren't really hitting the wall that hard, but they're really bouncing off the walls and shooting down the track. And this one's going to cause another big, heavy impact.
Yeah, big impact there. There's a few drivers kind of coming around here, just kind of see what happens. This looks like the 28 was able to keep rolling. As a 13/7. Scott Matthews makes it by as well. But yeah, another tough break here early on as we're only on lap 33 of 125. Still plenty of racing here tonight. Jason Christman is out front over Mike Casey, Billy Rickett, Travis Noble, Bradley Worley, Paul Helms, Daniel Pinkston, Douglas Ivey, Levi Poland, and Tony Brennan for your top 10.
Thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that we got to offer, as we got plenty of racing here once again, as we're back in full speed this week, as we got a total of it is 5. Losing my thought. Yeah, it is no, sorry, 6. 6 races here that we cover over the 5 days. We got tonight here with the 191 Motorsports. Tomorrow night is the Hold Your Brakes Academy. They're going to be heading to Indianapolis Motor Speedway on Tuesday. The continuation of the Core Xfinity presented by Kim's Cups and More playoffs, as they're going to be at Phoenix Raceway. On Wednesday night, we have the doubleheader, which is going to be CSRL. They're going to be heading to Sebring for the GT3s. And then the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing is going to be back in action kind of unofficially, as this is going to be the kind of the season opener. No points on the line. It's going to be the clash at the Coliseum. So you want to talk about a short track? This is half of a short track. So we'll see how they handle that out there in LA. Then on Thursday, we got the Virtual Velocity Racing.
I don't even know if I own that track.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. We're going to have to buy that. We're going to charge extra. Chicagoland will play host at for VVR. And then the doubleheader with the Core GT Series presented by Chase Decals, as they are going to be at Monza. That's certainly always a fun track for me. Not so much for the drivers. A lot of drivers hate when they got to go to Monza, but I enjoy it there. I enjoy watching it on TV. No matter what cars are racing there, I enjoy broadcasting it. I enjoy hearing the pain from the drivers sometimes as well. But we're going to get this thing back underway here in just a little bit. Looks like I'll probably get the 1 to go this time by. It's going to be Jason Christman still leading out here. No one has been able to crack the 98 here tonight in regards to speed here on the green flag runs. Michael Casey in second, Billy Rickett, Travis Noble, Bradley Worley for your top 5, Paul Helms, Daniel Pinkston, Douglas Ivey, Levi Poland, and Wade Enyart for your top 10. Biggest mover, Billy Rickett, up 11 spots in 3rd place. Rest of the field, he got Scott Henderson, Dale Garner Jr., Zane Bierman, Justin Spengler, Richard Hartman, Tony Brennan, Scott Matthews, and Bryce Saucier for your 18 car field. Looks like everybody is back out there on the track. Just trying to see if... Yep, yeah, look at that. Bryce Saucier is back there on the track as well. Everyone on the lead lap except for Saucier. He's the only car not on the lead lap. So pretty good start here, as we're only 35 laps into this thing. We still got another 90 laps to go, so plenty of racing. Hopefully we get a nice little green flag run here. I know we had the early caution there on lap number 15. Then we had the comp caution lap number 25. It seems like we're going about 10 laps at a clip here before we get a caution, so hopefully this one will stretch out to a nice green flag run once they get the green.
Yeah, these drivers need to find their stride and figure out how to not hit the wall. I mean, it's just close racing. Obviously, multiple lines and trying to get things done. And you're going to see some haste here by the 18, I'm sure, trying to work their way back up front. But, obviously, don't be too aggressive. Obviously, I don't know if he was quick enough to get up to the front, as the 98 has been leading the whole time. So the best bet would be just with being a lap down, or just kind of hold your own and take your time. Don't get involved in an incident, and hopefully get back up on that lead lap here. As I'll go ahead and just kind of post, see where everybody's at. You can see that he's down 2 laps, so he needs at least 2 more cautions. And the way this thing's been going, he should see those here tonight. So just need to be really patient. But up front, it is Jason Chrisman with Billy Rickett, Mike Casey, Chaz Noble, Bradley Worley, and that are battling there for P number 4. And then the 22 of Daniel Pinkson in 6th place.
Well, one thing we could say, Jimmy, is a little out of shape. There's a 33 of Douglas Ivey, but gets back under control. One thing we can say, it's not our fault.
Nope.
We did nothing. We did nothing this time. There's no pre-race in-race reporter that can blame us for anything. This is completely on the drivers, whether they're doing good or bad. We take no blame in anything either way. So I have a clean conscience here tonight, Jimmy, and I'm going to keep it that way. And we'll see. We'll get back to it
I sleep
next
good
week.
Every Sunday night. I don't know what you're talking about.
I feel bad. Maybe I'm the only one. I feel bad for him. But next week we're going to be heading to Dover, and it's another track that you're certainly fond of. We're going to talk to Zane Bierman for that one. So I guess wish Zane Bierman luck now already for next week. But yeah, Dover next week, Jimmy, the Monster Mile.
You mean Miles the Monster?
Yes, that's it.
Monster Miles?
Yeah. Yep. Mile the Monster.
Mile the Monster. Yeah, definitely a fun track. Obviously, I've been there myself in real life, a few times. So the memories are there from back in the early 90s. But, I used to drive by it every time I went home to Pennsylvania when I was in the Navy, stationed in Virginia. I used to take up Route 13, and I'd drive right past it before I hit the Northeast Extension, Pennsylvania Turnpike, to head home to Northeast Pennsylvania, up near Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area, where I grew up. But I definitely used to go by that track plenty of times.
Yeah, and it's certainly another one that's kind of a unique track, and it's got obviously the concrete mile, one of the bigger concrete tracks out there. You got Bristol, the half mile. You got Dover there, the 1 mile, and then Nashville Super Speedway. I believe that's a 1.5 mile tri-oval there. But Dover is fast. It's fun. It's high banked. You're going to probably see a couple different lines there as well. But man, coming out of those corners, out of turn 2, especially out of turn 4, don't even get me started on restarts. It is tough there with the entire track having banking, but it certainly falls off a little bit on that front stretch to make those restarts tough.
Yeah, the restarts can be tough. It's going to be interesting, obviously, with these cars. How easily these beep balls have been flying this season, as like their cars just came fresh off the line, from Italy. It's definitely going to be a challenge, and it's like you said, coming off them turns 2 and 4, car just pushes up there against that edge there, and you don't quite get the racing that you do on some of these tracks, even as it's short and high bank, so it's fast. But it is a difficult track, and the big ones can happen. With the higher banking, the track does seem to kind of self-clear, so you got to really pay attention to what's going on. And if you're on that the lower side, you could find yourself kind of wrapped up in an incident just where the cars kind of cleaning themselves out from the top of the track. But here we are now on lap 44 of 125, starting to get into a little bit of a run. Hopefully this is the sign of a little bit longer than 10 laps, but we're getting there, Carl. We're getting there.
Yeah, and it always kind of wondered me, when it comes to the Bristol compared to Dover. Obviously, Dover twice the size, and maybe it's just because of the raw speed, but the banking on both and the corners is 24 degrees. Bristol is got the progressive banking system, goes from 24 to 28 in the corners, but both of them go from that down to down to 9 degrees on the straightaways in regards to banking. So it's basically the same amount of transition when it comes to corner to straightaway, but you don't see the outside walls, coming off the corners really coming into play as much at Bristol. Do you think it's just because of the higher speeds at Dover that everybody kind of drifts up and out there and it really kind of snaps on you?
I don't know. I'm really, good question. I mean, something's obviously a little bit different for the cars to handle the way they do, but you compare obviously the tracks, but obviously the size difference is a lot different. So it's just kind of, maybe it has to do with the wear and tear on the tires, the concrete tracks and the wear and tear on the tires, and even the tires warming up. So there's many things that kind of come into play. I wish I was a real life driver, and maybe, somebody that has some real life knowledge of those tracks could probably explain it better. But why, as close as they are, why so different?
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try and remember that, and next time we get a chance to talk to, of course, I'm brain farting now.
John.
Yeah, John, there it is. Yeah, our man actually has driven ARCA cars and is looking to drive ARCA again here this season, and maybe he can give us a little insight, because I'm sure he's been in an ARCA car at Bristol and Dover. It's certainly some staple tracks on the NASCAR type circuits, but we got a good little run here tonight. But one thing we haven't seen is anybody challenge that 98 GSCF. We have Mike Casey hanging strong there in second. Billy Rickard was up there for a little bit in second place, but really any kind of challenge you get for the 98 of Jason Crispin. So certainly a big night back here for Crispin, trying to come back here and get a win to kick it off here. But Casey in second, Rickett, Pinkston, Worley, Levi Poland, Travis Noble, Spengler, Ivy, and Bierman for your top 10, as we're getting close to 50 laps into this race. So a good portion of the race clicking away here. Most of the drivers last pit on lap number 26, a few of them coming in there on lap number 33, a lot of them coming in to get some damage repaired. Obviously Spengler and Bierman being two of them, and they're back up there in the top 10. Both of them just electing to take fuel only, so they're getting up there with some tires, most likely from lap 26 as well. But we complete 50 laps now here tonight, and Jimmy, I think it's time that we maybe step away here for a second, let these cars roar a little bit. I'd love to hear it.
A little love to hear it.
sights and sounds here of the 191 Motorsports Gen 6 series, as we had some incidents happen, as you might have seen under the love to hear it, as we had Mike Casey vying for the lead, got into Jason Christman, who got into the wall, got a meatball because of it, and had to take an early pit stop here. Now it looks like Scott Henderson in the 72 with a meatball. He just came into the pits to get that car service as well. But in the meantime, Billy Rickett had the lead over Mike Casey, but now Mike Casey has finally wrestled that lead away. Not sure what happened, because I did see, I think Rickett fell back to third, so not sure if there was contact made again, but Mike Casey got the elbows out tonight. He's tired of being winless here, I think, on the season, and he was tired of chasing that 98, finally made the pass on him. Now he's got the lead by 0.6 of a second. One of the biggest leads we've seen all night. Billy Rickett in second, Bradley Worley, Levi Poland, Justin Spengler for your top 5, Travis Noble, Zane Bierman, Douglas Ivey, Dale Garner Jr., and Richard Hartman in the third for your top 10. Want to thank our sponsors here again, One Vision, EMS and Transports, and Kim's Cups and more, as we got a battle now for third place. The 91, Levi Poland back inside here of Bradley Worley. We've seen the battle a couple times, and now Worley into the wall. He did bounce off like we've seen other cars, but luckily didn't get down into the 91. And I guess really lucky for him, didn't get a meatball, because maybe Pizza Fridays, but it's Meatball Sundays here for 191.
Meatball Sundays. I mean, they need a mascot. You know, they could just bring out the Italian meatball here. Yeah, I don't know, Carl. We've said it now for a few weeks now. This is week number 4. It seems to be just pretty bad. It's just kind of stinks for the drivers. You know, it makes you drive that much more careful. You know, and to push the limits. You know, you're not gonna maybe not want to push the car to the outside wall because you don't want it to snag and get the meatball flag. And next thing you know, your race is, you know, almost ruined, almost ruined, or is ruined. We'll go ahead and kind of pull up here. You can see that, Douglas Ivey's down the pitch right now, but Christman is a lap down. He obviously was able to kind of bring that car down. He was falling off pace, but he just completed his last 3 laps. Probably was hoping for a caution maybe to come out. Didn't come out, so he had to come back, bring it in and get that car repaired before he got disqualified. But you know, still down a lap. I mean, he's in the lucky dog position now, so, you know, wants to get back up there, but was in on lap 55, so that could help. It's 30 laps newer. I don't know when these drivers can go till. I mean, they were last in on 26, so you're looking at 40 laps right now. We got about 60 laps remaining, so I guess that's one thing to watch out. Maybe Christman has enough fuel. No, I don't think so, but maybe it would be like 70 laps on a tank.
Yeah, it's certainly gonna be a stretch, I think, for sure. We're seeing again right there, Levi Poland trying to make the pass on Worley. You can get the run, you can get down to the inside, even if you're the faster car, but making the passes on the inside just seems like it's very, very difficult here tonight. I think passing is really at a premium, and you know, if we would have more cautions, I would think drivers would maybe elect to stay out to get that track position. But we have not had cautions. We have not had a caution for a while, and one thing that you know, would help Bryce Saucier back there, it's not happening. I mean, he went down 2 laps early on from the big incident where he had to tow back to pit lane, and he has since been stuck 2 laps down. Now we've seen Scott Henderson had a meatball. He is now 2 laps down. Douglas Ivey, Daniel Pinkston, and then as mentioned before, Jason Christman, all 1 lap down here. All wouldn't mind a caution to get themselves back in the mix of things, but maybe we have a start of the pit stops here. As Tony Brennan now brings the 65 into pit lane. Maybe this will be the start of the fuel window here for the drivers. But I mean, again, like you said, Jimmy, lap 26, and we're now, you know,
he was last in at 33. Yeah, Brennan was last in at lap 33. So
yeah, and but I mean, all the other drivers that are up there, lap 26 for majority of the drivers, and they're still out there now. A good 45 laps. we're getting close to that window where I think these drivers want to try and stretch it out to make it on just one more pit stop if they can.
Yeah, and that might be, in the books here for them to be able to do that. So that might just leave Chrisman a little bit out when it comes down to that. We'll see where we got the Helms coming in now. Matthews coming in. Black flag for both Helms and Matthews. As they must have been a little too hot coming down into the pits, though. So they'll have to get a nice 40-second hold there. That's a couple positions for some of those drivers towards the back of the pack. Pinkston and Chrisman, Ivy. As I'm sure these two drivers will go down. So coming down, being a little quick there. See the 64 missing their pit box just a little bit. Back it up, getting into play. But leader right now is Mike Casey. I don't think he's going to try to make it at least 3 more laps here, minimum, in order to only have 1 more pit stop here for the rest of the night.
Yeah, looking pretty good. It looks like Levi Pullen not only finally dispatched Bradley Worley, but also got around the 7 there, Billy Rickett. But now Rickett comes into pit lane on lap 72. So I figure if these drivers can make it to lap 75, they'd be good to go to the end, regardless, because that's about 50 laps coming in, and then the other 50 laps to finish out the race. But maybe Rickett is in his fuel window right now that he can make it to the end with a 57 or 53 lap run. No, 52. There we go. The math wasn't math in there a couple times, but right now Michael Casey is definitely not saving any kind of fuel out front. I think he knows he's good to go on 1 more pit stop. He's got a 3-second lead over Levi Poland, who was doing the battling there with Worley and Rickett. And with Chrisman out of the picture right now, the 6 has got the fresh air, and he is certainly stretching his legs.
Yeah, just nice and easy. Nothing. Definitely doesn't sound like he's coasting through the corners. I mean, he's letting off just a little bit, but that's just to make sure the car rotates here and you don't get out of control. So nice and easy and smooth here for the 6 as we're on lap 75 or 125. So we know that anybody coming in right now should be able to make it. And with as much as he's really not, I mean, he's saving, but he's not saving. We've heard Mike Casey extreme save before, and definitely not doing that right now. So I'd probably say another lap or 2, and you'll see Mike Casey come in, but does have all but 6 drivers, make that top 5 are the only ones on the lead lap.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting if a caution comes out. I mean, we haven't seen any for quite some time here, but a lot of times, you get those pit stops. Somebody gets a little squirrely coming into the pits, coming out of the pits. We've seen actually, typically we see it coming in where a driver just loses control, slides past the other pit entry, ends up causing a caution. But lately, Jimmy, it's been the guys coming out of the pits and getting up and just touching that apron and getting a little bit loose and snapping the car, and a caution coming out. Even though they're on the apron, still causing a caution, which is still doesn't make any sense to me. How we've seen that a couple times now where they're not up on the track, but yet we have cars that will spin in front of cars oncoming on the racing line and not cause a caution. But Zach Behrman, another one grabbing a pit road penalty here. He had the car all the way down on the apron the entire way to try and make a safe entry. It still doesn't happen. So Behrman gonna have a 40-second time hold. Hartman gets in behind him cleanly. Casey, Poland, Worley still yet to come in to make their pit stop. Daniel Pinkston came in on lap 56. So, I mean, that is, I don't know what the fuel, how far they can stretch it. I don't think 70-plus laps is on the table. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there.
Mike Casey's still out there.
Who knows?
Let's see how long Mike can go. I mean, Mike's out there right now, and only 3 cars on the lead lap, and pulling away from Poland right now. So, Poland's the only one out there that's on the same fuel strategy, along with Bradley Worley. They're on lap 79. They were last in on lap 26. I mean, they're already over 54 laps, 55 laps. Yeah, 54.
Yeah, so they're good to go to the end. That's one thing for sure. But it's just how far do you want to stretch it? I mean, I don't mind this play here from Casey. He's clearly got a faster car right now, and the only one I think he's really got to worry about is Levi Poland. He's the only one that is, relatively close to him, and Bradley Worley. But they're both still out there. So I mean, you can kind of look in the mirror and. If you can even see him in the mirror anymore, you're just going to look at the relative to see when they come into the pits and then play it by ear that way if he wants to. But it looks like the 6 slowing down. He's going to bring it in this time by. Can he get in cleanly and avoid the pit road penalty?
He's in.
Looks like he is going to be safely in. Bradley Worley coming in behind him. He's going to hit pit lane. Levi Poland is going to take the lead. And then we'll see how far these drivers can take this thing, as Poland looks like he's trying to protect the bottom. I'm assuming he's probably going to come in this time by. It looks like he's shaking that car a little bit. Is he sputtering, Jimmy?
Let's hope he's not.
Hopefully the 21 realizes he's got to come in. And that is going to be a caution. But the 91 is committed. He's got to come into the pits. No, he's going to stay out. Does he have the fuel to get around? Here's the question. This could be huge for the 91. If he can stay out here and make it around, he's got to pick up the pace car and be able to come in next time by. But does he have the fuel to do so?
I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. And we've seen that we were kind of calling it out. And maybe Wayne in here, obviously not knowing when he was coming in, but that wiggle was sure a sign of almost run out of fuel.
Yeah, I would assuming he's probably clutching in here on the backstretch just to try and get it back to pit lane. But yeah, I mean, tough spot there for the 21. He was committed to the bottom. The 91 wasn't really running the bottom line. He was running kind of in the middle of the track and going slower. So, if you're the 21, I don't know what you really could have done differently there. You don't know that he's coming in the pits unless he's calling it out. But there we go. Now he's going to bring the 91 country time into the pits. He'll be able to coast it here to pit lane if he has to. But looks like Scott Henderson as another black flag. Maybe came in on the wrong lap here. So that's going to be a penalty for the 72. But here comes a lot of the rest of the field here. It looks like Levi Poland. Big break for Daniel Pinkston as he is going to come in here. It looks like Billy Rickett is going to come in as well. Those three will now make a pit stop for everyone else, and they should be your top 3 here once everything shakes out. Everyone's going to get there's going to be a lot of wave arounds here. Looks like Travis Noble, not sure if he might have been the lucky dog here, getting back around the track in the 70. Mike Casey leads the field here, and I'm assuming all these cars, unless they come in here, are going to take the wave around and get back onto the lead lap. But Levi Poland going to come back out as your leader. I haven't talked about him much this race. Qualified in the top 10 in 7th place. Been running inside the top 10 for majority of the race and even in the top 5 for most of it. But now he finds himself at the point. Billy Rickett had a little bit of a struggle, ended up coming in early. We were wondering if he could make it, pitting on lap number 52. Well, we don't have to worry about that now. He has got fuel to the end, and he's got track position as well. And Jimmy, we talked about track position being so huge. Right now, the 91, 7, 22, 70, they got it.
Yeah, it's what they needed here. Obviously, some drivers are just going to be waiting to get around, but Levi Poland and Billy Rickett's been fairly quick, and now with fresh tires, being able to kind of move up, after all these drivers got around. It was just a tough break there by the 21 of Wade Inyard and Wade out there, always having a good time. I talked to Wade a few times. He loves them wartime stories from a lot of the veterans out there. Some of them can be pretty interesting. And just a shout out to everybody out there. Yes, reading the chat. Yes, probably laughing a lot more than we portray here and while we're talking. But it is always Carl's fault. Like they said, there's no denying that. Right. And I can see, Casey rocking out to some Celine Dion or some Taylor Swift.
I mean, whatever helps you go faster. I've said it before, and all joking aside, there are drivers that actually prefer to race with music in their ears and not really listen to anybody, just kind of hang out by themselves and have music playing while they're racing. I don't know how they can do it. I could not do it, plain and simple. I mean, there's no way that I could do it because I need to get
I do it when I'm on a late stint in the middle of an endurance race, and all my team is taking a nap to keep myself awake.
I drive the car by the revs, and that's how I judge my shifting and listening for the tires and things like that. Certainly you can feel it in the wheel as well, but I like to be in tune and listening to the car at all times and to have music playing. I don't know how some people can do it, and I'm not saying they're fast doing it too.
If I ever have music, it's pretty light. Like I can barely make out the words half the time, but it's usually just the beats. So a lot of times I'll even find some decent music that doesn't even have words, just instrumentals or something like that. And there's plenty for me to get around here, just to kind of almost get into like an ebb and flow. It's kind of like if you were to be in a marching band or in a marching formation, if you're in the military, this is just that much easier to kind of to keep pace, to hit your marks. There's kind of a rhythm going through. But we're all back, ready to go here. We're on lap 85. Still have 40 laps to go here once they cross the line this time by. All right, it's going to be Levi Poland in number 91 Country Time Machine out front, over with Billy Rickett on the outside. And you have Daniel Pinkston in third with Michael Casey in fourth. And then Bradley Worley, Douglas Ivey, Dale Gardner Jr., Richard Hartman, Justin Spengler, Travis Noble will be your on the lead lap drivers. Then you have Brennan, Chrisman, Bierman, and Helms and Henderson all one lap down. Matthews and Inyart are 2 laps down. And it looks like the 18 is out for the night. And always a shout out to Greg up there in the booth controlling the flags for the field.
Yeah, typically there's a lot of things I agree with you, Renee, on. This I'm going to have to disagree. I'm going to, when it comes to driving in real life, going to Walmart or driving out here on the track. Out here, you're racing against 10, 15, 20 other drivers. So it's you're competing against other drivers out there on the track. But when it's in real life, that's more akin to a time attack. You know what time it takes to get there. Especially if you're using GPS, forget it. That's a whole nother level. If you got GPS on and GPS tells you you're going to get there in 15 minutes, now that's an estimated time, and that's a time to beat. Is what that is. If you get there in 15 minutes or longer, you need to just go ahead and park the car and let somebody else drive. Let your wife drive, let your kid drive, whatever it is. If you can't beat that time, it's a disappointment. I don't care if there's traffic. I don't care if there's an accident. You find another way. You recalculate yourself, and you figure out how to beat that time.
Well, Carl, here in Florida, they now have a super speeder ticket. Anything over 100 miles an hour, you get automatically arrested, and all kinds, like at least a $500 fine. It's kind of crazy, yeah. It's to stop those people from going over 100 miles an hour trying to get to Walmart, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's you might need to hurry up. Got Black Friday coming up with all them deals and stuff like that. So I mean, you got to get your times in. So you might need to go buy a Cabbage Patch Kid or a Furby or whatever. One of those things were back in the day.
It's like the Tickle Me Elmo. I mean, either way, we're back racing here. We both digress here. We're back racing, and it's Levi Poland in the country time at 91 out front. Billy Rickett in second, but not for long. The 22 of Daniel Pinkston has got fresh tires. He's got enough fuel now to get to the end for sure, and he's battling up there. But here comes Mike Casey trying to work his way right back to the front, trying to get those positions early while those tires are good and sticky. But the 91 hanging out for now, almost 3 wide off the corner. The 22 of Pinkston to the outside, but Levi Poland leads that lap by only 9/100 of a second. It is getting tight. It's getting racy here We still got a good ways to go, though. We still got about 40 plus laps to go here in this race. Long way to go, but you see that top 5, top 6, throw a blanket over him.
And you can see the inside falling off, coming out of 1 and 2, 3 and 4. It comes to life because there's plenty of room to kind of push your competitor up the track a little bit. So now the 6 gets back into P number 2. Pink's just going to fall to 3rd. Now you're going to see that 6 maybe moved a little bit to a higher line, but it's going to fall in line with the number 91 here early on. Obviously, you want to try to break away just a little bit as he's not on the lead lap, but he's trying to get there back on the lead lap the hard way, the number 98.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well, and you wonder if there's anything that Mike Casey's got to worry about as well, because this is Chrisman is back here in no small part due to the little bump, little brush up with him and Mike Casey earlier on in the race when he was dominating this race. We'll see if there's any elbows out the other way to try and get to the front here for Jason Chrisman, but he is your lucky dog right now as well. He would love to have a caution come out, get himself back on this lead lap and show his dominance here once again, but you see him run down your leaders. Casey now to the inside, getting the elbows out again here on the 91 of Poland. Looks like Poland's going to have a slight edge on that time by about 3 wide here. 2 of them for the lead, but Chrisman down here trying to get his lap back the hard way. And yeah, I think no love lost, at least for the time being.
Yeah, and I think Casey's kind of known like I'm sorry, I'm sorry I tapped you. You got all the room you need down there. Hurry up, make the pass so I can get this lead off to number 91, but not quite able to hold that yellow line and make that move, Carl.
Yeah, because he's entering the corner low. He's got the preferred line through 3 and 4, but he's entering so low that he's got to really slow it up. And now Casey is going to clear the 91 up Poland, but into the wall. And a little pinch into the wall, and Ricketts gets into the back of Poland. And is that going to be a caution?
Nope.
I don't see a caution out there on the track. It certainly hit the wall pretty hard there. And there it is. There is the meatball.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
That is the second time now we've seen a car get a little bit too close to the 6. And Casey not taking any prisoners here tonight, not making any friends. Whatever you want to say, the 6 won't win here tonight, but now Ricketts is right there in second, trying to hunt him down. You got the 22 of Daniel Pinkston right there in third, but he's got to battle with Chrisman there, trying to stay on the lucky dog spot.
Yeah, he might be out there and not be listening to Celine Dion or.
He's listening to heavy metal.
Or Taylor Swift. He might be listening to like Garth Brooks and but replacing the words with that I have no friends in any place.
Yes. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. It helps these guys get their video out there and up there in the YouTube algorithm to showcase what they got here for the 191 Motorsports Gen 6 Series. I want to thank our sponsor again, Kim's Cups and More, and One Vision EMS and Transports. As you see, Levi Poland here in the pits, getting his fast repair done and getting 4 tires on that 91 as well. Now he's going to have to hope for a caution, maybe 2, to get himself back up into the mix of this thing. But man, it's certainly starting to get a little racy here. We got about 30 laps to go.
30 laps to go. Drivers all over the place, trying to kind of see what. So your biggest race is up here up front. Got the number 28 along with the 88 of Bradley Worley battling it for Pete, number 4. The 13 is Scott Matthews. Actually, that's the 7 that you see there on the track. Back there in 16th place. So lap car kind of mixing it up. I was trying to make their way to the front and maybe get a lap back. So, but in the middle of that battle between the 28 and 88. I want to say 33 because they're 2 Budweiser machines. But the 33 is Douglas Ivey. Douglas being quiet this season so far, Carl.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say so, and maybe just kind of working his way into the scenes here for this season. But We talked to him last week at Auto Club. Certainly, we apologize. Yeah, it was last week. Yeah, so we apologize for that. And that was certainly, I'm sure, not his doing for how he handled that one. But I mean, you look at the standings, and it's not what we're used to seeing from Douglas Ivey for sure. And I'm not sure if he's been to all the races this season, but it's certainly a down year so far, from way down in 15th position, and nearly almost half the points that Michael Casey has at the front. But it's still plenty early in the season, as again, this is only race number 5 of 20. So after this one's over, only a quarter of the season is complete. We still got 3 quarters to go, and anything can, and I'm sure will happen. Next few races that we got for the next 5, we got Dover, as we mentioned before, coming up next week. Then we head back to Atlanta, but for the new Atlanta, for the freshly paved, and we'll see that the Super Speedway Atlanta next week, or 2 weeks from now. Then Indianapolis Motor Speedway going to round out November. We'll have off for Thanksgiving, and come back to Kansas and Talladega to round out the 2025 season. Then we'll have a nice little break, a few weeks off for Christmas and New Year's, and then we'll be back in action for the second half of the season, kicking off with Bristol. So I know it's a few weeks in between, but going from Talladega to Bristol is always a fun mix-up right there in the middle of the schedule.
Yeah, every schedule usually has its challenges or transitions from track to track, so be interesting to see how the drivers take moving from those 2 tracks to one to the next. But right now, it is Mike Casey trying to get things done here at this track, but feeling the pressure by the actual number 7 of Billy Rickett.
So, Halloween is over. I know we talked a lot about Halloween when it comes to your favorite scary movies or your favorite scary movie franchises. We talked about which Reese's is the best, whether it's the Christmas tree, whether it's the pumpkin. I mean, obviously the answer is just yes. I know you have some people out there that have questionable tastes, like in the Reese's Pieces, and I know we took some shots from that, but at least me and Jimmy are on the same page with that. But and now the question is, best candy overall, absolute best candy. You have one choice of candy. What do you go for?
Candy that I go for. What are they called?
The old you're on a desert island as both the 6 and the 7 hammer the wall there. Not to stop you there, but yeah, you're stuck in a desert island. You got one piece of candy. What do you want it to be?
A caramel cream. The caramel with the cream, like the powdered cream sugar for the center. Those are my favorite. Like cacao, kind of like a cow tail, but it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know we talked about it. We talked about Reese's, but I don't know. It's tough not to go for Reese's. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. You got the peanut butter, you got the chocolate. It's tough to pass up a Reese's. I mean, there's certainly, I could pick one in every candy food group out there, but I mean, yes, of course. I mean, you got your fruity, you got your sweets, you got your tangy, you got your even got your hot ones. You got your red hots or your hot tamales. There's food groups, Jimmy. Do we need to go over this? We need to have a whole nother podcast on this.
My food group was candy. It's all one big thing. Candy. Just candy. No, it's definitely that time of year. It's you're on a diet. It's probably the worst time of year. You got obviously Halloween with the candy. Then you turn right around and you got Thanksgiving with the turkeys and the pies and the baked goods, and then turn around Christmas, same thing, cookies. Oh, just a bad time to even try to think about being on a diet.
Yeah, I mean, let alone the fact that you got the dinners. You got Thanksgiving dinner. You got you have your Christmas dinner as well. It's and you're inside. You're not active at all as well. So, I like the whole making a New Year's resolution to to lose weight or to exercise, things like that. You can't do that in the middle of the winter. Like you
No.
want to make a resolution. You want to try and lose some weight. If you want to go for it, wait till April. Wait till April, and that way whether you do it or not, you can say you fooled yourself, and thinking it would happen. But
I mean, you can always you just do what you want and then say you have a resolution on the 1st, but we all know that's a joke too. Hence the April Fool's Day, when you know it's just not coming true. But Mike, we are down to 18 laps, Carl. Mike Casey is still out front over Billy Rickett by a little over a second, and Daniel Pinkston sitting in a solid third. All spread out pretty evenly. Closest race on the track right now is with Travis Noble and Bradley Worley for P number 5. Obviously, you got the number 13 or /7 in the mix there, trying to battle their way back. And Dale Garner Jr. is actually your next car in 7th place. Richard Hartman's in 8th. Jason Christman has made it to 9th. Still 1 lap down. Needs a caution. Wants a caution.
Yes, certainly. As he's up there running well. I mean, he's technically battling for second right now with Billy Rickett, but Mike Casey is starting to check out here. About 1 second lead right now for the 6. Rickett in second, and then another 1.5 seconds back to Daniel Pinkston in third. Another 1.5 seconds back to Justin Spengler, who's kind of somewhat close of a battle with Travis Noble. Still, within reach here is the 70 and 5th place. But I mean, for the most part, the top 5 pretty spread out here towards the end of this thing, and I mean, it's certainly not as racy as it was on that restart with about 6 of them all over each other. Everyone should be good to go all the way to the end. No more pit stops needed. But if a caution comes out, you're going to have some takers, and
oh yeah,
we'll see what happens. But I mean, we're down to 15 laps to go at this point. As big as track position has been, I don't know kind of where the cutoff point is of where you kind of need to stay out and where you want to come in. I mean, typically we say, anybody is fair game to come in. But if you're anybody in the top 5, do you dare come in, with 10 laps to go?
Yeah, well, let's see here. If I pull the tower here, you can see who's on the lead lap. We got 8 cars on the lead lap. So, yeah, then if 6, 7, and 8 comes in, 5 probably should, and then the top 4 should worry. Not that they'll be able to get around them, but having newer tires is going to give them that much more grip, and all that jazz that they might need later in the race. That could possibly, bank them a win. So, yeah, I would, watch out for those people, because obviously, Crispin right now would be the lucky dog, would get back on the lead lap. He'd have new tires and be able to kind of drive to the field. So, he's something to think about, especially if you're Mike Casey.
It's sad, and Jimmy, I know you know the pain with kids, and obviously I've 2 myself in school. And the first thing you start talking about is the positions of where you would come in, and for some reason my brain just hung on you saying 6, 7 right at the beginning of that, and it pains me. It pains me that that's 6, and that's what I hear. And even last night playing board games with the kids, and I'm counting the spaces that I'm moving, and I get him like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like they're all 6. I was like, stop. Just
what's this world coming to?
I mean, we certainly, we all had our sayings in the day. It's the saying of the day right now, but it pains me that you're talking about positions, and that's it just stuck right
6
there.
and
Like,
7.
no.
best places on the track, 6 and 7.
Well, right now, Jimmy, who's in first and who's in second? 6, 7. So, I mean, say what you will. The 6 right now is leading Mike Casey. The 7 in second with Billy Rickett, Daniel Pinkston, Justin Spengler, and Travis Noble for your top 5. But it seems pretty good right now for Mike Casey. He's got a 1 1/4 second lead at the front, as We crossed the line here. We got 10 laps to go here at Kentucky. It's been a good one. Had a little bit of a slow start, a few cautions early on, but then we started getting in some nice green flag laps and kind of a timely caution for some, not so much for others. Put this field all kinds of out of whack, and now it's left us what we have right now with 8 drivers on the lead lap. But certainly shout out to some of those towards the back of the lead lap right now. Dale Gardner Jr. started this race in the pits and got his caution to catch back up to the field. Now he finds himself up here in 7th position. And how about the 52, Richard Hartman Jr. Richard Hartman III? Don't really get a chance to talk about the 52 too much, but he's the last car right now on the lead lap, and as it stands right now, is guaranteed a top 10 as long as the caution doesn't come out here. So good run here for the 52. Jason Chrisman looking like a lock for the top 10 as well, but not exactly the way he wants it. He's right now again catching up to Mike Casey, and what could have been here if he was actually battling on the lead lap. He was a dominant car early on here tonight, but unfortunately the 98 had a brush up with the wall, got himself a meatball, and it was not a caution, so he had to pit, lost a couple laps doing so. He's gotten one of them back. He's still 1 lap down, but it's the first car 1 lap down, so looking for a lucky dog, or maybe get it back the hard way and then have a quick caution, which I'm sure he would be one that would come into the pits. And it's certainly not over yet. We still have some cars bouncing off the walls on the exit. You see the 70 right there, Travis Noble brushing up with the wall. No meatball on that one, but we certainly been serving up meatballs here once again tonight.
Yeah, they've been giving meatballs out like candy for the past few weeks. But yeah, right now Michael Casey getting things done here. Travis Noble up there battling it with the number 22 of Daniel Pinkston. So looking to make that pass and just can't quite get it done. Sees that opportunity low, but as long as the 22 kind of runs that little higher line, the 70 is unable to get around, Carl.
One more candy I got to throw out there, Jimmy, just to get your brain, your pick your brain on this one. Certainly, Milk Duds is a yes for me, for sure.
Yes.
But the other one's similarly shaped. Whoppers. What is your feeling and your take on Whoppers?
I mean, when I was a kid, Grandma always had the big milk carts full of Whoppers. So, I have had my fair share of Whoppers, for sure. Yeah, they used to come in like almost like a half a gallon cardboard container back in the day. Yeah, you just pour them out in the handfuls. So yeah, Whoppers were a thing there. We ate plenty of those growing up. Yeah, there's been some of those candies were obviously a lot cheaper back then too. When you go to the store and even if you're in the checkout aisle, the candy bars are like $2. I'm like, $2 for a Reese's cup? I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when you see the the 2 for $4 and you're like, oh, that's a good deal.
That's a good deal.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure what candy food group I'll put Whoppers in, but they're certainly a different breed compared to a lot of other candy bars.
Light?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Diet?
Yeah, there you go. They're candy light. That's what they are. Well, either way, we're coming down to the end of it here. Under 5 laps to go now, as Mike Casey is got 4 laps to go. He's got a nice size lead here. 3-second lead over Billy Rickett, Justice Spengler, Travis Noble, and Daniel Pinkston now for the top 5 as Noble's gotten around Daniel Pinkston. But it looks like again the top 5 pretty spread out here at the end. Not too much battling. Noble getting by Daniel Pinkston, so it's still kind of close right there if Pinkston has anything to get back past him. But another battle here back in the back half of the top 10 as now Richard Hartman is maybe not settling just for 8th place here tonight. He's on the back bumper now of Dale Garner Jr. battling it for 7th place. But the time is ticking down here, and Mike Casey has just got a few more laps to go.
Just a couple more laps to go for Mike Casey. Huge lead up there in that position for the lead. We see the 52 trying to get everything he could to maybe get around, but tagging the wall here late. It's not going to do him any favors to make that position up over the 31 of Dale Garner Jr. that's in P7. Yeah, everybody's kind of spread out for the most part. We didn't say that Noble got around, but Mike Casey going around for his last and final times. Got a nice lead there, 4-second lead over Billy Rickett and Justice Spengler.
Yeah, the 6 going to come on to the backstretch for the final time. He has been looking for a win this whole season so far. Defending champion. He's leading the point standings coming in here tonight, but did not get to the top spot yet. He got close last week. He didn't get close here tonight. He got it as the 6 is going to take it to victory lane here. Mike Casey, your winner at Kentucky in race number 5. Justin Spengler is actually going to get up and get second place over Billy Rickett here at the end. A good job running down the 7 here. Not sure if the 7 had issues or not, but he's going to finish in 3rd. I'm sure we won't get an interview because we never get a chance to talk to Billy. But top 5 is going to round out with Travis Noble and Daniel Pinkston. Bradley Worley, Dale Garner Jr. able to hold on to 7th place over Richard Hartman in 8th. Jason Chrisman, unfortunately, going to settle for 9th position here tonight. Zane Bierman going to lock himself in with a top 10 with pretty good finish there for the 55. A lot of drivers, again, here tonight had to battle through a meatball at one point or another. But I think maybe 5 or 6 survived without any meatballs here tonight. And that was certainly a big benefit. But the 6 here is going to be able to celebrate the most on the front stretch here at Kentucky with his first win of the season.
Oh,
Not going to celebrate too much.
Not
go.
celebrating at all. He's done. I mean, he can spin his tires a little bit. No steering in the 6, though, as the 6 in the 88.
These are the worst donuts I've ever seen. Horrible donuts.
I mean, good thing he doesn't, his donuts doesn't represent his racing. And then at least not here tonight. So Mike Casey does walk away the winner here tonight after the 125 lap race. Let's see, we'll go ahead here and show up the results as there's a few out there. Mike Casey, Justin Spengler, and Billy Rickett for your top 3, and then Travis Noble, Daniel Pinkston, Bradley Worley, Dale Garner Jr., Richard Hartman, Jason Crispin finishes in 9th. Zane Bierman's in 10th, Tony Brennan in 11th, Paul Helms, Levi Poland, Douglas Ivey, Scott Henderson, Scott Matthews, Wade Inyart, and Bryce Saucier back there in 18th place. And always a shout out to our steward up there, Greg, for being in the booth controlling the flags here tonight. So again, congratulations to all the drivers. Looking forward to talking to the top 3 and see how their race went for them.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. If you haven't done so yet, again, hit that like and subscribe. Help these drivers out with getting the video up there in the YouTube algorithm. I want to thank our sponsors here as well, One Vision EMS and Transports, and Kim's Cups and More. Kim's Cups and More is your one-stop shop for all your apparel needs, whether it's a custom 20-ounce tumbler to fill with your favorite post-race beverage, a 40-ounce glitter tumbler for your morning coffee after you're up all night celebrating that win, or custom clothing apparel with your favorite team sponsor, or maybe even your favorite broadcasters, wink wink, a custom license plate for your everyday ride, even mouse pads to help you rearrange that pesky new UI. You can choose from already created products or have them custom made to your liking, whatever your pleasure. Kim's Cups and More has it all. Check them out on Facebook today. That's Kim's Cups with a K and More. We got our top 3, well, at least 2 of our top 3 in here, as we'll go ahead and bring Justin Spengler down here as he's jumping to another room. But we're going to have our top 2 here tonight because we never get a chance to talk to Billy Rickett, but he is your 3rd place finisher here tonight. 2nd place, though, is going to be the 28 of Justin Spengler, and certainly finally getting the 28 up here, making Jess happy out there, and getting yourself a 2nd place here tonight. But you had to fight for it, and you had to get around the 7 there, Billy Rickett, late.
I mean, yeah, it was a battle right up to the very end. I knew this track was going to be terrible on tires, so I took care of my stuff and kept to the low line all throughout the race, tried to not get anything too hot. And from the very beginning, I mean, I started 15th and was able to deal with being in a wreck, having to use a faster pair and just slowly chipping away. I mean, I had a bad green flag pit stop and just kept on trucking right through everything and tried not to kill my tires. And that at the end, I only had taken 2 tires on the last pit stop, so just right sides on that, and I was a lap down and got the wave around at that point. So, you know, these guys are great to race with. Tonight was an exceptionally clean race. We have really heavy hearts over Foster. That's a huge loss for us. Anytime any of the group goes down, that's I hate it. So we're gonna have to do something special here in the not so far off future. Remember our friend.
Absolutely.
That's a good race to remember him by. Do one really clean, really long runs, and heavy hearts, but a great win for everybody. Like it was just a good race.
Yeah, it started off a little rough, a few cautions early on, and certainly the meatballs were back in full force like they've been this entire season so far. Maybe the two tires there at the end help you rotate through the corners a little bit better, because it seemed like passing was kind of a bit at a premium here tonight. It seemed like there were two lines out there. You had the low line and then kind of that middle line, and you had to really make the passes on that middle line, because that low line you can dive down in there, but it didn't seem like you really get a good enough run to make any kind of pass. It seemed like passing was hard out here tonight.
Yeah, especially 3 and 4. Like the low line in 1 and 2 was fantastic. You could, even with the tires being worn, you could roll out of it just a little bit, never fully get out of the throttle, and be able to hammer down hard again and roll through 2 and out onto the backstretch. But in 3 and 4, the amount of time that you spend off the gas, it felt like forever. So I was off the gas way before turn 3, getting onto the brake, setting the nose, and then getting the car to rotate when it wanted to, so I wouldn't overheat the tires, and then get back in it.
Which is it's kind of funny, because we've actually seen, watching other cars, it seemed like they could make the bottom work in 3 and 4, but they couldn't really make it work in 1 and 2. So maybe that's exactly why you're up here in second place here tonight, because you figured out the puzzle of 1 and 2. But either way, like you said, I mean, it was a good race, and certainly a good shout out to the fellow driver there of the 79, Foster Yates. You guys had a lot of green flag running out of here tonight. We did have the moment of silence for him from laps 7 through 9, but you guys did some great racing there for the middle stages of the race with a lot of green flag laps, and good enough to get you up here, not just on the podium, but up here in second. So, I mean, do you feel like maybe this will kind of jumpstart you a little bit and maybe give you a shot in the arm, maybe have a chance at Dover next week?
Well, I mean, last season I was your interviewer for Dover, and that's one of my favorite racetracks of all time. I absolutely love tracks that are aggressive on tires. Nashville's, Bowman Gray's, here at Kentucky. If it's concrete, or if it's going to chew up a tire and put it in the driver's hands, I like racing the racetrack and worrying about racing the drivers later on. And you guys saw that here with 1 lap to go, me being able to get around the 7. Billy, his tires were falling off more than mine were, and that goes back to Days of Thunder. I'm not going any slower. I'm not
exactly.
I'm not going faster. They're just slowing down around me.
Yep.
So
exactly.
It was all about taking care of the tires, and I love a race where you can have a long run and show what the driver ability is.
Which makes sense why we have you penciled in for February 1st with North Wilkesboro, because that is definitely another track that is a tire chewer for sure. We'll see what you can do there. But we got Dover coming up next, so we wish you good luck at Dover. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, always the family, my son, my daughter, my fiance, Jess is always here. Kaylee watches with her. My son doesn't watch because he's not a big racing fan, but family is everything. Once again, Foster Yates, his family, he was a friend of ours, big part of the group, and he will be dearly missed. And I was loving the fact that Doug Ivey put together the race scheme that I had on tonight. I will be running the GMP Klein Tools truck and the Gen 6 car from here on out. That is where I am currently working. So I was able to put that. If they're going to pay my bills, I'm going to put their name out there. So I love the paint scheme that Doug put together. I told him, I was like, here's the colors, here's the the logos, you do your thing. And he put out a rockin' paint job for me. So if anybody needs a paint job, hit up Mr. Ivy. Doug Ivy does some great work too. So just a pleasure to be up here and to have a race go my direction for once.
And listen, we say all the time, look fast, go fast. And certainly you were fast enough to get up here to second here tonight. We'll see if Dover is the lucky wild card there to get you your first win on the season. But take some time to celebrate this one. Thank you for joining us up here in the booth. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Carl, Jimmy, love you guys. Always appreciate what you do for us. We'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you too, buddy. That is your second place finisher here tonight. The 28 of Justin Spengler getting it done here late to move up in the second place over Billy Rickett. But the top spot here tonight, getting his elbows out for sure. And not taking any prisoners, the 6 of Mike Casey.
Mike, Elbow Casey, how are you doing here tonight, buddy?
I'm here. I'm a little recovering today because of Scott Henderson. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, out there is definitely interesting, and these elbows were flying here today, and definitely you had to work for this one here. Obviously, your competitors weren't able to keep up with the Italians here tonight, as the meatball flags flew a couple times on some minor brushes with the wall. But and either way, you finish this thing out here strong with a nice 4-second lead over Justin Spengler. But you had to think about your competition and wondering if that caution were ever to come back out to see if Jason Crispin was ever going to be on that bumper at that 6 here truly at the end.
Yeah, he was very fast tonight. Me and him it was weird. It was when we were coming out of 4, it's like our cars got locked together and I literally could not get off of him. Like I literally had the brakes and the car just stuck there. And I think he looked like he hit the wall, and honestly, I didn't think he hit the wall that hard from what I could tell, but I think he ended up getting a meatball, and I think that kind of put a wrench in his race. So me and him were in the same channel, and I apologize to him because I try to race as clean as I can, and I think we both were just kind of racing hard, and these tires, man, at Kentucky, they fall off so fast, and it is so hard to pass anybody after you got about 20 laps on these tires. I mean, it is so hard to get around somebody without making a little bit of contact. And I don't like to race that way. I try to race as clean as I can. But I wish he could have got back up there because it would have been fun battling with him. I feel like the long run speed on my car tonight was good. I could really seem to keep the car rotating pretty good, even on the long run. So I was kind of happy to see that. But just apologies to him because it was not intentional at all, but plenty of more races, and I know he's fast and he'll have plenty of opportunity to make up and get some points. So
yeah, I'm sure he'll have your number for the next few races to try to catch back up to that 6, but definitely it still had a pretty decent finish as he put in some good times there, finishing still in the top 10, a lap down, but definitely was there to, if that caution would have came out, lucky dog, probably new tires, he would have been riding all over the back bumper at 6. But
I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, it's gonna happen. I just know it. Just go ahead and do it. I was sweating, just kind of hoping that it wasn't gonna happen, but everybody did a great job tonight. Kentucky is it's not that the track is very hard, it's just the way the tires go away here, it just changes the whole dynamic of it. So it's not an easy track, but I love it.
Yeah, me and Carl have talked about the tires of oval cars vice the tires of like road racing, where when you start off in the cars with an oval car, you're usually faster, and that's when you get your best times in. But when you go to road racing, as the race goes on, because the car gets lighter, the tires don't seem to wear the same, obviously, and you get faster over time. So it's definitely a big change from back and forth. The tire models definitely can make or break the the track composition. As you can tell, the concrete and the pavement have different wears and tears. But you did a great job tonight. You got things done the way it needed to get done here tonight. Continue that march forward for the points championship here towards the end of the race. Only a few races, only about a quarter of the way through right now, so plenty more racing to go. So look forward to see what the 6 has to put on the table for the rest of the season. So we want to say congratulations on your win here tonight. Give you some time for any shout-outs on that number 6.
Yeah, I appreciate that. First off, man, I just want to say I'm so sorry to hear about Foster. Prayers for his family. I found that out. I had the stream pulled up while we were finishing up practice, I think, and I seen that. I mean, I just instantly got a knot in my stomach and felt sick. So there's nothing that I can say that's going to make it any better, but just know that we were thinking about his family, and then obviously Foster. He was awesome to have on the track. You get to know some of these guys, racing with them every week, and he always showed up to everything. And I wish I could have 10 more Fosters on the track. He just was very committed to the league with us and was fun to race with. And I'll never forget him pulling the old Sidewinder at Pocono for about 60 laps and just sticking with it. That was the type of person that he was from the short time that we got to know him. So, obviously, like I said, it's I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I hate that, and it makes me sick to my stomach. It really does. But I hope the family's doing okay, and just know that we're all thinking about him and the family. And yeah, he'll definitely be missed. We'll never be able to get another Foster on the track, and he was a great guy. But shout out to you all for putting on our show, and everybody on YouTube watching. Appreciate you guys. It's always fun going back and watching these. Shout out to Kim's Cups and More and One Vision EMS Transport. We appreciate you guys being with us. And then, like I said, man, I'm excited to get the win, but I wish Foster would have been out there with us, because it's not going to be the same without him. And I really don't know what else to say. I'm kind of just a little speechless tonight, so I'm gonna cut that right there. So,
A man of many words, struck by not so many words, but thanks for all the shout outs, and obviously the hearts are always heavy for the Yates family, and wish them the easy of hopefully can get a good celebration of life for Foster there, and have a good time with the memories that you have with that person. So, but either way, wish you again, congratulations on the win here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the next coming weeks, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner here tonight, getting his first win on the season, Mike Casey, and the number 6. Certainly going to stretch out the points lead a little bit more as we head again next week to Bristol, the Monster Mile. But before that, we got plenty of racing on tap, as we got 6 more races left in just this week. We got Indianapolis coming up tomorrow with the Hold Your Brakes Academy. We got Tuesday with the Core Xfinity Series continuing their playoffs. Doubleheader Wednesday, doubleheader Thursday. So plenty of racing left in the schedule for us. For myself and Jimmy, though, from here at Kentucky Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.